Libra, welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. Just saging over here. I know this kind of looks like, well, anyway. We're talking about March, which is so crazy to me. Just seems to be going by so quick, but not quick at all. I'll probably say that seriously every month because I'm always just so surprised that we're talking about another month. So I hope February has treated you well, is treating you well. I actually launched an Etsy store, which I'm so proud of. So I would love it if you would check it out. I'll link it down below. Of course, there's no obligation to buy anything. Of course, if you feel connected to something that you would like to purchase, I would love that. But if you could just fill the space with a ton of love so that other people will buy stuff. I appreciate it. So let's talk about you. Again, we're talking about March. We do a 4-card spread. I almost said 3-card. That's interesting. We do a 4-card spread. The first position is a current energy. To the left of that, I just washed my hands and apparently they're, I don't know if you can see that. First position is your current energy. To the left of that is any potential blocks. Underneath is advice for clearing the block. And then the last position is kind of the energy that you're heading into. I don't shuffle reversals into the decks or into the deck. But if the card falls out in the reverse, we'll take it that way. And interestingly enough, so this is the Tarot of the Abyss, which I do have a few copies of these. If you feel connected to it and want to work with it yourself, I have it in my shop. But so, you know, I shuffle all of my decks the same way. I'm just a little OCD like that. And generally, like when I get a new deck, I just handle it a lot. I keep it pretty close to me. I ask random questions, do random readings, you know, like just kind of trying to calibrate our energies to each other and all of that. So the first few times that I shuffled the deck and, you know, had cards come out, they were coming out in the reverse. So I would like flip it over and I'm like thumbing through it and I'm like, why are there so many reversals in here? Like, am I going crazy? Because like I said, I shuffle all of my decks the same way. So seriously, like one night I set the cards out in front of me and I was like, we need to have a meeting. Like I don't connect to shuffling reversals like intentionally into the deck, but I very much will work with them if they come out in the reverse. And that's just me, that's just my preference. And ever since then, there hasn't been another reverse that's been shuffled into the deck. So I don't know, that's just kind of interesting. And I'm glad that I get to share that story with people because I know you guys won't think that I'm crazy. You might. But if I shared that with somebody who isn't familiar, like with tarot, they would be like, what the hell are you talking about? Oh, so the cards do actually need to fall out of the deck. If they flip in the deck, we'll just flip them over and keep it moving. My intention is for 1 card to come out at a time. If 2 come out together, we'll take 2, but any more than 2, we'll put it back just because we want the message to be super clear. So let's get started. What is the current energy for Leo, Libra? Are you dealing with a Leo? Weird. For Libra, March 2022, King of Cups. Could be dealing with a Pisces. Knight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So the King of Cups, very emotional, right? But in control of their emotions. The King of Cups is holding the Ace of Cups there. And in this depiction, you know, it looks like he's kind of standing on the edge of a ship here, and there's all these waves kind of going on around him, and he looks pretty chill, right? So, you know, just there could be a lot of stuff even going on around you, and you're having to hold your shit together. Like you might just kind of be the anchor, you know, like for other people. Also, you know, when you get to the king, right? Like that's kind of the highest expression of the suit of cups, right? When we talk about cups, we're talking about water, we're talking about our emotions. So, you know, when you get to the king of cups, if you've kind of gone through everything from the ace all the way up to the king, right? So you've kind of learned all these lessons, you've dealt with loss, you know, you've dealt with success also, right? Like just kind of understanding that, you know, just because there may be loss somewhere around on the journey, there's always something to be gained as well. There's still success that is available. But the king is able to share that with the community or with their family, with their friends, with their, you know, whatever community is for you. Other people also look to the king for, you know, like it's a leadership, it's authority, right? So, you know, other people may be looking to you to kind of gauge the temperature of the situation. And then we have the Knight of Swords. Swords have to do with our thoughts. This could be a Gemini that you're dealing with, or just an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But, you know, this figure is in the middle of this maze, you know, so this is a lot of mind stuff, right? Our thoughts, our intellect, how we perceive our reality, right? So, and in this depiction, this figure is in the middle of this maze and, you know, kind of having to use this globe. I've just been, like, my connection to this has just been, this is being the Ace of Swords, which is the sword of truth, right? It is the actual truth of the situation, not your perception, not what you, not the story that you attach to it based on your wounding and traumas and things, right? This is the truth of the situation. So it's kind of like, you know, the sword is causing this globe to light up. And that's the thing that's kind of lighting the way. The Knight of Cups is, or excuse me, the Knight of Swords is a bit faster moving generally. Like they don't necessarily think before they act. They just do, right? So it's almost just moving without thinking about it. We have the Six of Pentacles behind that, which talks about give and take, reciprocity. You know, Pentacles talk about our money, our stability, our health. Also, it's the physical 3D realm, you know, our resources and materials and how we kind of come across those things. This is also Earth. So, you know, there's a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn that you could be dealing with. It doesn't have to be, of course. And more specifically, a Taurus. So, you know, we have this figure here that's accepting or looks to be accepting a donation of some type from, you know, this figure, right? So it's having enough of resources to be able to give to somebody else. This could be a loan. This could be some sort of charity. And then the Queen of Pentacles behind that, which is, you know, I mean, she's kind of like Mother Earth, you know, it's nurturing and has the resources that she needs. And it's almost, you know, just kind of like nurturing those things into fruition, like, you know, watering your plants so that they continue to grow type of thing, right? But also this level of contentment. So what is the block for Libra? What is blocking Libra? And even so I just kind of keep, you know, like looking at these waves out here and just, you know, like kind of how crazy that looks, right? And even, I don't know, for some reason, his face, I'm just kind of getting this like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on out there? I mean, he's not even really concerned. He, she, they, right? It's just the energy of the card. They're not even concerned that, you know, like the water is like splashing out from their cup. But I mean, at the same time, it could be being filled also. Really, you know, that can go either way. So what is the block for Libra? Wheel of Fortune. Could be dealing with a fire sign. Two of Swords, some indecision. There's that Queen of Pentacles again. And then the Three of Pentacles. This Awakening card. Okay, we might come back to that here. So we have the Wheel of Fortune here. And what I think is so beautiful about this representation of the Wheel of Fortune is that I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but she's, you know, kind of got her hand out here and it looks like there's this plant growing, like this is a flower up here. This kind of looks like an eye right here. But we have this plant that's growing. So, you know, the Wheel of Fortune talks about obviously, like the wheel turning, talks about luck. So, you know, with it being in the blocked position, you could be feeling the opposite. You could be feeling like the wheel is not turning at all. And that it's almost like Groundhog Day is the feeling that I'm getting from that. Because we also have the Two of Swords here. And the Two of Swords talks about indecision. Just kind of not knowing what to do with the information. Because like I said, we have the Ace of Swords is the sword of truth. So then it's like, well, how does that change my situation? Or what do I do with that information, right? Like, how does that kind of change my path here? And it's interesting that we have two masks here. Like who does that make me now that I know the truth, or now that I see the truth, or now that you know, I see the truth of the situation, or my perception has changed, right? Based on truth. So that could be why, you know, there's this, the wheel is not turning, or like I said, you know, just kind of has this feel of, you know, Groundhog Day, where nothing is really changing, but the same situation might keep coming up, having a hard time, like just kind of seeing a way out of it. And then we have, you know, the Queen of Cups again, like I was saying, you know, just nurturing. I mean, this could be a mother figure. I mean, you know, like this could have to do with your finances, like uncovering something, because, you know, she's kind of got this chest or whatever this is open, and she's pulling out the pentacle from the ground. So this could be, you know, like discovering something that, you know, just kind of affects the financial situation. We have the Three of Pentacles that talks about collaboration and like teamwork, and then awakening. And awakening was behind the Queen of Pentacles when we were talking about the King of Cups. So there's this transformation that is, you know, like it's back there. It's trying to come through, right? Like it's buried a little bit, like behind a ton of stuff, but it's showing up, right? Like there's an opportunity for this transformation here. You know, we have this kind of like skin suit down here, and then this figure is, you know, kind of rising out of, you know, kind of being rebirthed out of this into this figure with the wings, right? So there's some sort of transformation trying to happen. We have the Nine of Wands. It talks about, you know, being a bit beat up by the situation. Like kind of all of the actions and communications you've been trying to have through the situation has just not worked out, since, you know, we're talking about the blocked position with the Wheel of Fortune being there. We also, again, have this Ace of Swords here. So, you know, the truth of the situation is still trying to come through. You know, like you could be even, you know, trying to battle, quote unquote, by using the Sword of Truth. And, you know, that's why, you know, the communications have maybe broken down a bit, leaving you feel a bit beat up. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles, which talks about family, stability. So, you know, I mean, this could have to do with your family. And of course, you know, family can be anything from biological to, you know, platonic. It's a family that we make ourselves. It could be work, you know, it can be, whatever we deem, you know, family to be. And look who came out, the Ace of Swords, the actual Sword of Truth, right? In the advice position for how to clear the block. And then we have the Three of Cups that came out with it. So it's interesting because, you know, this is the only card that's actually come out that has more than one person in it, right? So this can be a situation that you're trying to handle yourself. And I'm also kind of getting this feeling of like, maybe like the other people in the situation aren't even aware that you're feeling a certain way. And, you know, I'm not able to read thoughts, like read somebody's mind. I haven't met somebody that can read my mind. So of course, you know, if you're not communicating those things, nobody will know, right? And maybe because, you know, we had that Nine of Wands back there, right? So maybe you have tried and maybe it hasn't gone very well. So we have the Ace of Swords here. Again, Sword of Truth, right? And all of this, you know, information coming off of her crown, off of her headspace, right? And there's a house here. There's two figures here that look like, they could be children maybe. There's this figure here. There's a couple birds. That looks like a cat or a dog to me. So, you know, I mean, this can be just all of the, this almost looks like a wishbone right here. I don't know. Looks like it. I could probably keep like finding little figures in here if I stared at it long enough. But, you know, so this is the advice for clearing the block, right? And the advice is to hold on to truth. And maybe it's a matter of being the one to bring truth to the situation. That could be it. Because, you know, that sort of truth cuts through the bullshit also. And it does that because it's the truth, right? How many times have I said true or truth in this reading? I like, are we at 1 million yet? But, you know, just again, like this idea of like holding on to what is true of this situation. And we have the 3 of Cups. The Cups talk about our emotions again, right? And the 3s are, you know, it talks about celebration. It talks about support from, or, you know, like networking, your community. You know, they're all kind of cheersing, right? We have this older figure here, younger figure. I mean, this could be looked at as, you know, whoever, you know, like me or you know, like whoever is the current here, which would be us. So this is, you know, like, it's kind of like truth is what kind of brings you together. Truth is kind of like what brings everything back together in the situation. We have the 4 of Wands, which talks about, you know, like a foundation, stability. It's also, I mean, you know, like a lot of people see it as like the card of marriage because it talks about union and harmony. But this, you know, the wands talk about action and communication, like I think I said before. So it's the actions that you've taken have created stability in the situation. Or even, you know, like the talks that you've had, the way that you've communicated has brought stability and harmony to the situation, or brought everybody into union. We have the Justice card underneath that, which is your card, right? So, you know, again, just the scales balancing as far as the advice position goes. That could also have to do with like contracts or like court proceedings, you know, but it's like I said, the scales are balancing. It's fairness. Like nobody's getting more than anybody else just because. That is too many. So what's next for Libra? What's the energy that Libra is heading into? Wow. Yeah, that's far too many. What is the energy that Libra is heading into? This is, you know, with cups, you could be dealing with a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. I think I might have said that. I mean, this is specifically a Pisces card also. It doesn't have to be, but we do have 2 water cards out here. Swords, you know, I mean, that's your energy, right? That's Libra, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. And we have the Knight of Pentacles. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Strength. Yeah. So the Knight of Pentacles, and just the Pentacles in general, because I can't remember if I just said this a couple minutes ago. But, the Pentacles are a little slower moving. We're talking about the 3D realm here. And it takes a little bit of time for things to manifest in the 3D realm. So, the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving of the knights. Obviously, he's off of his horse, right? Like they're just kind of strolling. But, it takes time for your seeds to sprout and grow into being harvestable. Like it takes time for investments to pay off. It takes time to build wealth, right? Like it takes time to advance in your career type of thing. So but it's about commitment also. Like you're, kind of committing to moving forward. This could even be like a recommitment to the situation. But it's at least a card of like moving forward, right? Like it is movement, even if it is a little bit slower. But it almost, we kind of go from this King of Cups to the Knight of Pentacles. So, kind of coming off of these choppy waters and putting, like getting grounded, putting your feet on the ground, right? And, kind of making, like I said, a commitment to move forward. We have the Strength card here, which talks about inner strength, resilience, persistence, right? It's, like when you ask for strength to get through a situation, right? That's what it is. Just that inner strength that we cultivate, to kind of get through a situation. We have the Page of Pentacles also. And there's that key. There's that key there too. So, and even his hand being on the ground, right? Like, again, just being grounded. Finding this key, like, that key that's going to kind of take you to where you need to go. He's got it on his necklace there. That was the key that the queen used to open up that chest and, find that pentacle. It doesn't necessarily seem like, you're kind of coming out of the woods just yet. I mean, we have the Five of Wands. The fives are kind of the transitionary periods. So it's temporary. But, the fives talk about conflict or, kind of competition. There's a little bit of squawking going on here. A little back and forth. Again, with the Nine of Wands, there's that sort of truth again. Ten of Pentacles. Again, this could, again, just be your family. And then the Ace of Wands. We have this Phoenix coming up here. Rebirth of the situation. The Ace of Pentacles or the Ace of Wands talks about igniting a passion, igniting creativity, reinvigoration. So, like the situation is going to start moving forward. It's going to take some strength on your part. And it could very well be moving forward because, you just kind of put a lot of energy into it. Even if it is moving a little slower, right? But at least it kind of seems like, the wheel that's been blocked over here, at least, that block's been cleared out. And it gets cleared out by, inserting truth into the situation and, you know, kind of coming back together. There could be 3 people in the situation. And I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. And I'm happy to be on this journey with you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.